week 9 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few running backs I looked at on the waiver wire this week. So this week here, not great options on this wire where a true running back broke out and he's a must-have. But right here, these are a few guys that possibly could help your team. The first guy, Tyler Algier of the Atlanta Falcons. I know he's owned in a decent amount of fantasy leagues. Only available right now is Algier in 46% of fantasy leagues here. So right now, the last few weeks, he's actually got things going for fantasy owners. Week 7 at Cincinnati, 16 carries, 50 yards and a touch. And then week 8 versus the Panthers, 14 carries, 39 yards, 3 catches, 46 yards and a touchdown. So week 9, a good matchup here for Tyler Algier versus the Chargers that give up the second most fantasy points to running backs on the season. So he might not be available in your league, but if he is, with the lack of running back options on the wire this week here, I would go out there and get him. He's Algier. He's the number 1 over there in Atlanta. Even though I know Caleb Huntley had tons of carries once again in this game, but he's still the guy making plays for the most part out of the 2 running backs is Tyler Algier. And he's a pickup this week. The next guy, Nyheim Hines of the Indianapolis Colts. The same number of availability is Nyheim Hines like Algier. Available in 46% of fantasy leagues. So the last couple weeks here for him since coming off his concussion. Week 7 at Tennessee, 4 carries, 2 yards, 5 catches, 41 yards. And week 8 versus the Commanders, 5 carries, 20 yards, a touchdown, and 2 catches, 29 yards. We know he's not going to rush the football a lot. Anywhere from 5 to 8 carries max he's going to get. He's more the passing downs back over there is Nyheim Hines. I know Jonathan Taylor, he got banged up in that ball game. They were taping his ankle earlier, but he did finish the game. But they got a tough matchup in week 9 at the Patriots, so he's more of a flex option if anything is Nyheim Hines. And like I said, there's not many options on the waiver wire this week as a must-get running back. The next guy is Ronnie Rivers of the Los Angeles Rams. So Ronnie Rivers, he scored a decent workload, and he out-touched Darrell Henderson in week 8 with 12-6 in touches in that ball game. So 8 carries, 21 yards, 4 catches, 15 yards. But right now, this Los Angeles Ram offense in this array here, offensive line can't block. They don't really have a running back they trust over there. I could see them by the NFL trade deadline in a couple days. November 1st it is. Either trade for a Kareem Hunt or even a Jeff Wilson Jr. if they want to trade within the division is the San Francisco 49ers. Because Ronnie Rivers, he's not an every down back. He's a smaller back, more of a passing downs back in my opinion. And right now, yeah, he's available in 99% of fantasy leagues, but Kyren Williams could be back any week as well for fantasy owners, and he would be the ad if anything, but he's owned in a decent amount of leagues. So right now, if Kyren Williams is out there on your waiver wire, you'll go get him. But if you need a guy in deeper leagues, Ronnie Rivers is the ad this week. The next guy, Kenyon Drake of the Baltimore Ravens. So Kenyon Drake, a good performance on Thursday Night Football. In the last 2 out of 3 ball games, he's been good as Kenyon Drake, but he's still a running back I don't trust. He's still a guy that's up there in age. And I just think a couple fluky games here in the last few weeks for Kenyon Drake's got him his numbers. I know Gus Edwards, he was limping off the field in that ball game at Tampa Bay. But week 6 at the Giants, 10 carries, 119 yards, a touchdown, a catch for 8 yards. Then week 7, it was the Gus Edwards game where he had 11 carries still, Drake, but 5 rush yards only. And then week 8 at Tampa Bay with a bounce back, 7 carries, 62 yards, 4 catches, 5 yards, and a touchdown. So a little fluky in that one for Kenyon Drake, no doubt about it. Rushing for about almost 9 yards a carry in this one. Week 9, not a great matchup in New Orleans. They give up the 9th least amount of fantasy points to running backs on the season. But if you need a guy as a flex with the 6 teams on bye, or just a guy to stash on your bench, I think Drake is a decent option. But right now, I'm not going to go crazy out there and try to get him as a number 1 priority. But he is available, is Drake, in 69% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final running back, Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs. So Pacheco here, he was the starter in week 7 now. Week 8, obviously, the bye week here for the Chiefs. So maybe after the bye week, he's picking up the playbook more, get more repetitions and stuff here is Pacheco. I know he only played 30% of the snaps in the start he got at San Francisco in week 7. But right now, we know this kid's got a knack for running the football hard and getting the short yardage carries he's got. So the last couple games here for him, week 6 versus Buffalo, 2 carries, 9 yards, 2 catches, 9 yards. And then week 7 in San Francisco, 8 carries, 43 yards. So his yards per carry this season, he's at 5 plus 5 rushing yards per attempt here is Pacheco. So right now, he got dropped in a lot of fantasy leagues in 17%, but he's available out there in 66% of leagues. That's a few running backs I look to get on the waiver wire for week 9 of the fantasy football season.